Hey my crafty friend, and welcome back for part 2 of my wedding mini album. If you missed part 1, be sure to click it now and go watch that first. If you were there for part 1, then welcome to part 2. So let's get started. Alright, so lesson number 5 that I have learned is to take time and figure out each other's love languages. And it's a big it was a big research thing where you can read about the article, and I'll link it below, about love languages, and that's like a certain person's theory. But even if you don't want to do that, just take time to figure out just how the other person express themselves. And I say this was a big lesson for us because Chris and I only dated a year before we got married. Well, no, it was probably like a year and a half. When he proposed, we had been dating for, I want to say, about 7 months. And then it took a little under a year for us to plan the wedding and to get married. So, that was a total of like a year and 6 months between the time we started dating and the time we end up being married. And as you could expect, you're not really, it's still so early on at that point that you haven't really figured out each other's triggers or like the way the other person may express themselves, especially with us because we didn't live together before we got married. And like I knew him before we started dating because we went to the same church, but it was, just seeing him like in passing at church. We never really spent much time together, like in any of the like church stuff. We didn't spend that much time together. So we really got to learn each other like after we started dating, and really learned each other once we got married. And it was really difficult like that first year, just because I realized that Chris is more of like a very touchy-feely person. He likes hugs and like he's just very touchy-feely, and I'm not. I'm more of a I like to talk stuff out, not necessarily I'm not really big on touching. Like I don't even like shaking people's hands, like, and it don't matter who it is. I'm very hands off. I'm a hands off type of person, and he's not. So like the first year like living with him, and like he'll be constantly like, he expresses himself through touch. And I'm kind of like a, why you keep touching me type of person. Like, what's wrong with you? And he's not very vocal, and I am. And like one of my love languages is like I like receiving gifts, and he doesn't really, to him that's not really that big of a deal with him. So we had to figure out a way to just make that work for us. I know you're probably listening to these lessons like, how are y'all even married? Y'all so opposite. Like, it's true, we're two separate people, but you knew that anyway. But yeah, we are, I guess it really is like one of those opposites attract type things, and this I guess that's the weird part about it. But with us, it was just finding a way to make it work. And I will say, like, I have come accustomed to like little passing touches because that's how he is, and I have learned how to display affection, more so in that style, because like I am really like public displays of affection is like, for me it's like, ugh, like don't nobody want to see that. And it doesn't matter like if it's him or like, I don't want to display public affection. I don't want to see other people displaying public affection. It's like, keep that at home. But I kind of have to like realize it took me learning that, you know, if he needs that, he needs that. And I had to get comfortable with that. Like even in this picture, like holding hands, like I'll be like, why are you trying to hold my hand while we walk? That's weird. But I think as time went on, you just kind of adapt a little bit to the other person, and you change a little bit, and they change a little bit to suit you. And like he knows like I like to talk about like especially issues. Like I'm the type that I like to read an article and let's have a discussion about it. And because I'm not really a big TV person, and that wasn't really his thing at first. He was like really into TV, but now he will like try to go out his way to find an article, and I'll try to even sit down and watch TV with him. So it's like meeting in the middle somewhere. Okay, for lesson number 6, we are going to talk about, as you can see, the picture I've used is surrounding our wedding cake. And you know how they say at your wedding, at least one thing is going to go wrong? For us, it was the cake. And it was a subject that I was pissed off about for a very long time. Like, in our household, I think Chris had got so tired of hearing about that cake that he was just like, okay, look, don't even look at pictures of other people's cake. He's like, because you're just going to get mad. But with our cake, the cake was late to our wedding. The reception had started before the cake actually got there. The cake did not taste good, and it was not the cake that I spent almost $1,000 for. It just wasn't what I ordered at all. And I think the place where we got married just in a scramble tried to find a cake, or either they tried to make it just so we would have one, or either they like hunted the lady down, and I don't know what the issue were on the backhand, but the cake sucked. And just like that cake, sometimes in marriage, like the day-to-day life sucks, and I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it. We are not perfect. We don't pretend to be perfect, and we will never be perfect, and we will always have like those days that just suck. Like, I don't wake up every morning and think, oh my gosh, I'm so in love. Like, no, I don't. I don't wake up most mornings and think that. But like before I can go to bed at night, I always can think of at least a dozen reasons why I love him. So lesson number 7 that I've learned is to like have fun together. And I know that sounds kind of like a duh type thing, but like life gets serious sometimes. And like personally, I'm not a very serious person. Like I take my work serious, but I don't really take myself serious. I mean, I hope that makes sense. Like, I'm not just, I have a sense of humor. I'm very goofy, and I'm one of those people that can laugh or find humor in anything. Like it's been times where I've laughed at, like, or had, like, chuckles at funerals. I know it sounds bad, but, you know, I'm gonna keep going. But for us, it was, like, just finding things that, you know, it's fun to do, because you kind of get caught up in like work, and with me it was school, and I can't even imagine like people who have children, because I bet that could like really zap the fun out of stuff. having to be like a primary caregiver for somebody, I mean, not like zap the fun out, but I'm sure it adds like a additional stressor. But for us, it's just really like figuring out ways to just like take it easy, or like for us, like whether it's we play a lot of pranks on each other, or we like joke and kind of joan a little bit with each other. We're both kind of goofy. And another thing we do is like make up stories and just kind of like straight BS each other with like these, like, I guess you could call them tall tales. But it's like, I guess my thing would be lighten up. Like, people get in relationships and they want to be perfect, or like act like they're not human. And like, to me, it's like, have fun with each other, like fart and blame it on the dog, or just do something that's funny. And I know a lot of people don't think farting is funny, but just keep like that inner child and express that with one another. That's like one thing that I've learned, just to kind of be easy and maybe have an indoor water fight, or just do something goofy and don't be all serious. So that's lesson number 7 that I've learned. And my last lesson that I have learned throughout these 8 years is to be flexible. To not get so caught up in having like a hard plan. And this is not just in like marriage. This is just something that I've come to discover in life in general. It's just to be flexible, and sometimes you have to just learn to go with the flow and admit that a lot of stuff you don't have control over. And I know a lot of people like to have like these tendencies to control things, or want things to go their way, and like it just doesn't happen that way. With marriage, it's not gonna always go your way, and that's in marriage and life. And as someone who like myself, my eldest sister is 12 years older than me, and my brother grew up in a different household, so I was pretty much the baby in the family that I grew up. It was just me and my parents, and for a while my grandmother, because my sister moved out when I was 8. So I was used to just pretty much having stuff my way, kinda, because I didn't have to share with anyone else. My parents kinda, it was just me there for a good while. And even when I got older, and I stayed with my parents up until I got married, I had my own room, I had my own bathroom, I had my own parking spot. I just had my stuff, and no one would touch it. It was there. Nobody bothered my stuff. And it is not like that when you're living with someone that you like in a relationship with. Because now, like, I have to share a room, I have to share my bed, and that caused that's still something we like fuss over, because apparently I'm a bed hog and I like to sleep in the middle of the bed, and I don't leave him enough room, according to him. But yeah, it's like my lesson was to be flexible, to like, even with the bed thing, like I had to get over like I sleep in the middle of the bed and that's just where I sleep, because that was unfair. So there's a lot of things that you just kind of have to learn that you can't control someone else, and someone else can't control you, and you're not in control of much to begin with. And that is my 8th lesson, that love is messy, it's beautiful, it's confusing, it's chaotic, and it can be zen, and like the best thing that you have all in one. And it's like it's a weird roller coaster ride that you sign up to be on, and like you stand in line to get on the roller coaster, and then like when you hit that first drop, you're like, shit, why did I get on this ride? And then like once like the scary parts are over, you're like, man, I want to do it again, or that was totally worth it. Like I hope that makes sense. I hope that was a good metaphor. Okay, so those are my 8 lessons that I've learned over these last 8 years of marriage, and I hope you enjoyed watching me make this wedding album and talk about some of the things that I've learned. And if you agree, or if you have any lessons that you've learned from your past relationships or anything, be sure to leave me a comment down in the comment section. I would love to hear what you have to say. And thank you so much for spending this time with me and listening to me, and I will see you guys later. Bye.